Right there.
Office romance, they say, can get you crazy. Now imagine a colleague being all over your man. Like, please, can you get your hands off my man? Is it always the case that romance can get into the way of your work? Or people say that it's a no-no affair when it comes to office romance. But some too say that love always wins. On this episode of Moans and Cuddles, my guest and I discuss the nitty-gritties of office romance. I am Paulina Dedaa Opoku. We'll be right back. You're welcome back to Moans and Cuddles on Ghana Web TV. Now today's topic, once you work, you're not a stay-at-home mom or dad, it will be of interest to you. The act of balancing office romance. You might have heard someone in the office space who is dating a colleague, or maybe you yourself. Like, how do you balance it? Because a lot of people say that it has a lot of disadvantages compared to the advantages. So right on this episode of Moans and Cuddles, my guest and I will all bring the negative, the hearsays, and if once you are into it, how best you balance it with your work. So now today I have here with me Mystic Mike. Mystic, you're welcome back to Moans and Cuddles.
Many thanks for having me.
I'm always glad to see you because, you know, I like how you say the thing. You don't cut corners, straight to the point. You just drop it there.
Exactly. If it must be done, it must be done well.
Good to have you. Franca, it's always a pleasure having you because you are one of the few women who say things like, you know, women, we like to say things for the women's side. But with you, I know you are straight to the point. If you are not right, you say it as it is. So it's good to have you back on Moans and Cuddles.
Nice being here.
All right. Francisca Ashong is an HR practitioner. So HRDs, you know a lot of our HRs, when you're having an office romance, they say that no, it won't interfere with work. So today, dear, please, you will explain to us why you're particular about it and if it has more disadvantages compared to the advantages. And then Mystic is a journalist. Mystic. So we have full force. We're ready to go.
Certainly.
All right. So people say that when it comes to office romance, it will get into the way of your job. So would a person be unproductive if they have a relationship or their boyfriends or their girlfriends are in the same office space with them?
There's the risk that it can impact work.
Okay.
And that's why a lot of the business heads or business owners or the business managers, they are not too enthused about relationships or intimate relationships at work. Okay. In fact, with the banks, I understand there is a rule or a protocol that no lovers should be allowed. Okay. You know, so we've also heard that if you two meet at a workplace and you desire each other that much and you want to take it to the long haul, then one must resign. So one resigns and goes to find another work. Other companies also are a bit liberal. They will say no lovers at one branch. Whilst they will not forbid it, then there won't be lovers at the Dansuman branch of that entity. So there can be a lover in the general sense of it, the company, but then they have to work at different departments or branches. So one will be at Dansuman, one will be at La Paz or Usu, and someone will be at Jolo.
But what God has put together, let's no man.
You must understand that whilst he has positives, whilst he has things to be said for it, being intimate with a work colleague also comes with some negativity and some downside. Imagine having bunked the previous night or shagged the previous night, and then there was an issue, perhaps issues of infidelity, cheating and what have you, and so a partner is vexed and then takes that energy to the workplace the following day. If you are a front service personnel, you are going to relay that energy to clients and customers who come to you for inquiries or who come to you for service, just because a lover, you had an issue with your lover, and that can cost the business money, it can cost the business reputation, it can cost the business in various other ways through no fault of theirs. They didn't ask for your partner to be a cheat, so why should they pay for the indiscretion of that partner? So these are the nitty-gritties and the pros and cons, some of the pros and cons of having intimate partners on a team.
All right, but I beg to differ, because some people can be very professional with their relationship at work. But let me take this from Franca. So can someone be less productive when they're involved in office romance?
I would like to first of all take it from this angle. So modern organizations actually admit and understand the fact that as a human entity, there is likely to be this kind of attraction that can occur.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think most organizations now are emphasizing more on the fact that sexual harassment is not accepted, and they are educating their employees more on this. Why did I mention sexual harassment? Because once people are into a relationship and they're in the same organization, say the same branch, okay, same location, what is going to happen is that the tendency of the man or the woman trying to be naughty at work is great. Okay, so at the expense of work. So probably a working period, a man will intentionally send message to a girlfriend who might be in a different department or different cubicle or something, and they may end up using productive time maybe in a washroom somewhere. You can't tell, you see. So for organizations, is because of this. And you know, there are some men, if they want to have you and you say no, they get angry, and at that material moment, an anger, and assuming the person is going to work with figures. So if this person is angry and is going to work with figures, you can imagine how confused that person is going to be. So you can imagine the impact it's going to have on the organization. So most of the recent organizations, though they advise people on this sexual harassment, also are of the view that if you want to keep a relationship, most of the time it shouldn't be someone who is your direct reports or you are in the direct reporting line with. They also will say that, okay, if you are in the different departments and you have no link whatsoever with whoever you are in the relationship with, it can be overlooked.
It can be overlooked.
But as I said, so many things make organizations want to shy away from this office romance thing.
Okay.
Though it has its advantages. For me, I think that once the disadvantages will have more impact on the organizational productivity, we have to be careful and look at it. So yes, it does impact on organizational productivity if not handled with care.
All right, Franca, you've said a lot, but then people have argued that once there's an office romance, you're dating someone, whether it's that you are intimate or it's just a relationship that you guys are both building, there can be issues of favor. So maybe if you don't even deserve a position, you don't even deserve something because you're sleeping around with the boss, you know, they can say, oh, you can have this promotion, you can get this thing. So how do you separate fair? Because you don't want to, people are working genuinely, they deserve to be promoted, even though maybe you haven't had a relationship with your boss. How do you separate it so your colleagues don't say, oh, there she goes again, she didn't deserve it?
Once you decide to have an office romance, you should know that you are likely to be a topic for discussion. That one, you cannot overemphasize it. You understand? People are likely to talk about you. Some of the things may be assumptions, okay? Some may be true. I say this because, well, I have worked in a lot of entities, and sometimes it's very glaring at the face. You know, you can actually read between the lines, and you can add A to B, and you realize that this one, especially when you feel that when we look at the output of your jobs, assuming you are two ladies, you look at the output of your jobs and you realize that there is this position, we are all eyeing this position. Everybody might know that maybe A is very efficient than B.
Yeah. so
but then
obvious.
maybe because B is having a relationship with some, it might not be even the direct boss, it might be some other boss, somebody who she's not even reporting to. But because the bosses meet at a particular level to discuss at management level, they have that rapport. So they can say, oh, why don't you just push this lady there? Just because of the relationship they have. So for me, I always advise young ladies out there that, look, if you go to work. Forget the office romance thing. Though it has a positive side, I always say just work. You know, I say just work because if you deserve it, people will think you don't deserve it. And it's an insult to your integrity. You see, it's an insult to your personality. Because assuming I know I'm capable, I'm hitting at everything I'm supposed to be doing right, and I'm hitting and making productivity for the company, and then someone thinks that, oh no, because the boss is his boyfriend, that is why she's getting the favor. It's an insult. And when that happens, your career ladder becomes a bit questionable. Because now you have to prove yourself to everywhere you go. Because if they hear that stigma, oh, this one, she likes dating big men or big bosses in the organization, your climbing of the ladder becomes difficult. Every step you take, they'll think you are favored because of that.
Well, the submission you make that to ladies, if you find yourself in a workplace, just work. What happens with Franca? Let's be honest. You know, once you spend more time at a place, maybe let's say we're talking about work. So at the office, you get to go to lunch with the person. When you're having bad days, there's the same person you run to. How do you prevent yourself from not falling in love? Because some of them are real, not that maybe we're just having sex, we just, you know, it's just a friend with benefit thing. In real life situation where you both like feel like this is it, how do you balance it? Because
my brother says something from his earlier submission. He said that some are real, and I agree, some can be real.
Yeah.
But you see, emotions are such that you cannot control. Some are able to control, but to some magnitude, some level. Once emotions grow wild, it just goes like wildfire. You see, you will think that, oh, I can handle it when there is a breakup. I can handle it. I assure you, you will not be able to handle it. Because your work will be affected, everything you do will be affected, and it will even affect your relationship with other people in the organization, because you begin to feel you've been used and dumped. So for me, I think it's just not right. The emotion might be there, but we have to control ourselves when we go to the working sphere.
All right. Mistake.
Yeah.
So in a case where you are not able to control yourself, and then you're in a relationship with a guy or a woman at your workplace, how do you identify if it's just a fling or real love? Because you know some people, they just want to buy time with you at the office. They might not tell you maybe they have a serious girlfriend at home. So how do you identify? How do you, as a man or a woman?
So, you know, falling in love has no scientific formula. You can meet someone and then you'd have very strong feelings for that person. Even married people will tell you when they go out, they meet people, and that's what that's what some of the married women say. I wish I had met you earlier.
Married men.
Are you sure it's the women
Men.
I had married men.
If I had met you, I wouldn't have married your wife. That thing is a lie.
Both ways, actually.
Like,
I wish
women don't have. We hardly say that.
I wish we had crossed paths. You know, and that's what people say, because, and for those who are unmarried, it's one of the things that works on their mind, that what if I start dating Paula, or I start loving Paula, and then I step out, or even not even if I start dating Paula, you might see Paula, you desire her, you take a step, you meet Dora, and you're like, God damn.
Where were you all?
You know, so you are like, how do I settle with one person? It's actually the bane of many single people.
Does that apply to you too?
Of course. I mean, there are times you meet people and like, you know, because there's so much goodness out there. So the question is, if you are developing strong feelings or feelings for someone at the workplace, you must sit yourself down and ask yourself a few questions. All right. Is this me just wanting to get into the pant of this person? Is it me just having sexual attraction and I just want to taste it, see how she tastes like? Is it me just seeing a fine boy and I want to just have him? Is it me trying to use this person to advance my career opportunities? Because there's that also. People come to workplaces, they look around, some of the mid-level senior members. So a young lady comes in and says, Charlie, Mr. Adom, okay, I think I can work on Mr. Adom, get Mr. Adom, get into his favor, get into his good graces. Okay. So that when management level things are being discussed, I can be positioned favorably. Okay, great. There's that. People come to workplaces and study the terrain because they realize it isn't always going to be about hard work. No, that alone wouldn't be enough. For them, let's use other means to accentuate the hard work that we already do. There are some who are there, and for some, they meet people at the workplaces and they want this for the long term. They don't want monkey business. They see you, they say, Paula, you are the one. You are the chosen one.
Exactly.
You are the one. I can't sleep without thinking about you. I can't be driving without thinking about you, Paula. When I come to work and I see you and I behold your beauty, Paula,
I can't work.
I thank the universe always for bringing you to existence. So for that person, if he tells Paula that this is how I feel about you, and Paula says, do you know what? I have been feeling same about you. And so if the two agree to give it a go, but then the policy at the workplace forbids it, then a decision must be made. A decision must then be made if truly this is what you ultimately want. So one of both partners will sit down and say, look, we want this. We want ourselves. We see ourselves having a future. But the company here says no way. And that if we must exist, then one must leave this company. So the two of you will come to that decision. Look at the pros and cons. Which one of you earns higher? Which one of you has a straighter path to ascending the corporate ladder here? So that you take the decision, look, I will leave this company so that you can stay on. I'll find another job and then we marry.
Great.
Some people come to that realization. And it's worked for some people. It's also backfired for others because this was an ultimate job for some. But they were swayed by love, gave it up, and the person, it didn't turn out to be the ultimate picture they painted. The relationship might have crumbled. And then, so you ask yourself, why did I leave KPMG job for love? Why did I leave a tallow oil job for supposed love that did not yield any benefit in the long term? So there is that risk. And as human beings, even stepping away from our homes to town involves an inherent risk. Are you willing to take that risk? And would that risk be justified in the long term? These are the things that must be on our minds when we take such decisions.
All right. Hey, Chow. This one here. You want to chip in something?
I agree with him perfectly in what he said about the decision making. So, of course, yes. If you two decide that, oh, we desire each other so much and we cannot do without each other, then you really must sit and discuss. As I said, he mentioned all the points there. You weigh all the pros and cons and you say, damn all the odds. Let's go in out for it. And then one can step down for the other to just climb that social or corporate ladder that the person wants to climb. Right. So I think that it's all a matter of choices. But once it's conflicting with the organizational policy and the culture that the organization has, of course, it cannot be harbored.
Yeah. But Franca, with you, Mr. Just a minute, with you, I know you're not fully for the office romance, having a relationship in the workplace.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. You don't really. We get your stand.
Yeah, not necessarily. But
with the issue of people saying that it will get into the way of your job, you will not be productive. Let me give you an example. Prior to this conversation, I had the conversation with a girl who is dating someone who is in the same space with. And she's saying that when she's having a bad day, and he tells her man that I'm having a bad day, he'll just come, just whisper one or two things, and then back to Joe, like.
The support system. That's a support system.
So you cannot say that it's equally bad because that is an advantage.
No, Pauline.
So with that,
there's the gain. There's a positive.
Let's appreciate the positive.
No, we
part
can
of this
discuss the
too.
positives.
Yeah.
We can.
There are actually lots and lots of positives.
Yeah.
That I can tell you.
We cannot
Like
overlook
you said,
that.
you mentioned one. It is beautiful.
Support system.
Some people just see you and they brighten up their day.
Yeah.
And they are able to operate within the capacity in which they are supposed to. And that is there. Because then you know that my man is... There's another thing. The fact that you feel that your man is in the office and it's not looking at some other lady's ass somewhere.
Peace of mind.
You have this kind of security.
You're in the same space.
Exactly.
You close, you know his movement.
Exactly.
You even
So-
go together. You might be, so you sit in the same car, you go.
Exactly. So that is one. So like I said, you have the comfort, you have the security, and there is a fact that productivity can become high. Why? Because assuming I have a boyfriend, he's making some balancing and he's not able, he's working at it, he's not able to, and I'm done with my job and I'm good in balancing, I'll quickly go help him to do the balancing, and there you go, the company has had its productivity.
Yeah.
So it is not that bad, as I said. So some companies don't actually frown on it. They only give the lay down rules that you have to go by. So assuming I am in company A and I think I'm in love with Eric, I've seen him, I like him. What some companies will do is that you have to tell your HR about it.
Okay. Oh.
Oh
okay.
yes.
So you don't have to keep it a secret.
HRs are the fathers and mothers of organizations. HRs are to have two face. We have the hard face that tells you, hey, this must be done, it must be done right.
Well.
And we have the motherly face that tells you, come on, let me give you a pat on the back. You need that shoulder to cry on. You can count on me. So HRs are supposed to be this two face. So you can always walk up to your HR manager and discuss, HR, Mr. Eric and myself, we haven't this thing for each other. It's so strong, and I feel society will look at me. I love him. I wish I can go ahead with him and have a relationship that will end into marriage. No HR will tell you that, hey, you have to stop this. Hey,
Frank, are you sure you're not going to break that bond?
they are not going to do that. I tell you, they will just give you the guidelines. They will give you what you ought to know for
Okay.
you to make your decision. They will tell you the pros and the cons for you to decide if this is what you want. As he said, some have gone ahead with this thing of thinking, brainstorming, and deciding that one leaves, and it has backfired. So HR will make all these points known to you and tell you, go reflect.
All right.
Come back to me with your answer. That is the job of an HR.
So if you find yourself in an office romance, as Franca said, talk to your HR. Not all of them are into break their relationship. They might just give you the guide and all that. Now remember that Moans and Cuddles is proudly sponsored by Cheesy Pizza. Cheesy Pizza has got all you want from juices, smoothies, jollof, fried rice, pack and meatballs. We have great deals for you all week round. Cheesy Pizza gives you the McCheesy combo every Monday and Thursday. With only 49 cedis, you get one small pizza, fries and chicken, one Coca-Cola drink at all branches. Tuesdays are Super Tuesday at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Buy your Super Family Pizza at half price every Tuesday for 40 cedis at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Be part of the midweek bonanza every Wednesday. Buy and get one free at all Cheesy Pizza branches. And also remember to start your weekend with special jollof and fried rice from Cheesy Pizza branches every Friday. Call 026-413-3397 to place your order. Cheesy Pizza, your way. Now, my makeup was proudly done by Kiki Sadiq. So she's on Instagram. You can follow The Corporate Chick on Instagram. You can call Kiki on 055-2428-698. The Corporate Chick will glam you for all occasions. Now, Franca, it looks like Mr. K wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Just a quick
So
one before we
another
go on
gain,
a break.
another gain for the company is taking work home. So if you work in the same company and you are working on something at the work office and you take it home in bed, you know, you could finish it up. You know, you as Franca said, you are balancing the books and maybe you are locked up at the balance sheet. You are doing a balance sheet, and then you know your lady can assist us. So these are current assets. These are current liabilities, help you with the deductions, so you can brainstorm, come back to work, and then when there's a brainstorming session at work, because you exchange ideas, because you judged, because you weighed things over, because you are both in the field, you are both doing the similar work, you are able to contribute and give other insights other members might not have had.
After you've had something,
you know exactly. But I reckon the fear of many business owners about having lovers at the workplace is that they can also conspire. They can also get together to cause malfeasance. They can cause together to rob and steal stock and then manipulate figures to cover up their tracks. So that's another fear that many business. Yeah, of course. You hear people have absconded with huge sums of money. People were sent to go and do withdrawals at the bank, and together with Nedofuna way back, they are gone. You know, so this is the fear, because they become you know, so they look at the weaknesses of the organization and they feel like, okay, I a week, you're the best. Charlie, I have someone say a week, you're the best. Together, they are able to mastermind the downfall of the company if they so desire, and that is a threat. And no business owner would look like kindly to that.
All right. All right. So we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we're still discussing how to balance office romance. My name is Paulina Dedaa Opoku. This is Moans and Cuddles on Ghana Web TV.
Right there.
Welcome back from that quick break. Now remember that Moans and Cuddles is proudly sponsored by Cheese Pizza. I think we could buy
certainly.
Yeah, mistake.
Most certainly.
You should get your cheesy pizza, and as I stated earlier, they've got great deals for you all week round, so you could visit any of their branches.
It looks yummy though.
It looks. You should taste it. Hey, mistake. Frank, unless you help yourself. I'm saying, yeah, doggy will cry.
Those eating of pizza.
Come on, you can do it, Franca.
So imagine office romance. So you and your partner, you could buy yourself pizza and enjoy its lunch break. It doesn't spoil anything. Okay. Let's do this. Franca, you know, we will, as we were talking about this or balancing office romance, some people say that people are not professional with it. You might see them in washrooms, you don't know where they are coming from. They're all over the place. But then are quickies allowed at the office space?
Are you mentioning quickie in a corporate setting?
Yes, please.
You know, there are actions that are not expected to go on in the corporate sector. If I remember clearly, I mentioned organizational culture. So as the policies are there, every organization has a culture that they live on. Okay, and you know, I remember when we were kids, we used to recite, culture is the way a group of people live, what they wear, what they eat. Yes, the same culture, every organization have their own. And that is why I say that it depends on organization to organization. Remember, in my first submission, I said that in the bad of days, a man could just message his girlfriend who is in the same organization and say, meet me there.
The same place, as usual.
Is the fact that it will bring productivity down. So for me, as you said, the same quickie can enhance productivity, because a man who is having a scattered mind, right, and needs to align his mind to get back on track, may get this quickie and will fast roll back to how do you call it? The beginning setting. How do you call it? It will reset him to factory setting. You understand? And then he will start working as he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then the same quickie can destroy the organizational productivity.
Paula, the question is, what washroom are you going to do the quickie in? Is this the common floor members washroom. Then you're going to do it. I reckon that the general rule of quickies is not to be caught. That's number one.
Okay.
And also, quickies work best with senior level management. The CEO,
educators,
the managing director, who have their own cubicle, they have their own washroom. So that level, you are playing at that level, not you an entry level staff. No, it's for a CEO who can lock the door or shut it, and no, there will be no consequence. So you, the CEO, has invited over perhaps a secretary who is the lover, who is also the lover. So when they are in there, they've locked their cubicle. They are working, supposedly. And then they can, bang themselves and then come back to work without any consequence. But it isn't for everyone. The rule of quickies is to do it without being caught and to have a very decent and enabling washroom.
As the name says, it's quickie, so it has to be quick. You don't have to take forever.
Exactly.
There's not a love making session. All right. But then, Franca, when we were speaking, we were saying that some people don't like to date people in their office space. Some say that if you, like your partner knows your business, your ins and outs. What do you think discourages people? Maybe it might not be just workplace. Some people say, once I'm in the same church with you, we are not dating. The same neighborhood with you. What discourages people from dating people in their circle?
We all have kind of rules set for ourselves. So we all have our ethical norms and values that we cherish, okay? And based on these, we make decisions. So Franca, for instance, will not work in an organization and date anybody. No matter how attractive you are to me. For me, being in the same organization and dating is a no-no. Why? Because I have weighed myself, and I know that if things go beyond board, there will be chaos.
Yeah.
So in order not to put anything like that in line, that is my rule. Somebody's rule, as he said, maybe, I want to climb this corporate ladder. I want to get there. For such a person, no matter what you do, there is nothing that can stop the person. And yes, the person will hit hard to get the target that makes things happen. The person will want the movers and shakers of the organization, not just any commoner. So we all have the reasons why we want things done in a particular way. And so yes, somebody will want to date based on their own reasons, someone will not.
Well, I find it intriguing that some people would say, I don't want to date anyone from the church, from my neighborhood, from my workplace. So where are you going to get a human beings? Where are you going to get a human being? It's not from the interactions you have.
No, but then if you are dating, imagine you're dating someone at your workplace. Some people are extremely jealous. Someone comes to see you. Okay, someone came to see you. It's a problem. But then if it's at a different place that you are, you can have fun. You can meet people, and then even people at your workplace can be close to you without him feeling jealous and like, why was this person all over you today? Like
we must all manage our emotions well.
But that is one of the disadvantages.
We must manage our emotions well. And anybody who is unable or not equipped to manage his or her emotions well has no business wanting an office romance, because you are working under the glare of others, and so you must be discreet, you must be very suave, you must be cunning, and you must be crafty. And if you don't have these attributes, my good lady and my good man, you have no business engaging in office romance.
It's true. So it's not for the faint-hearted.
Never, my dear.
Franca, you wanted to chip in?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something to what he was saying. Yes, you see, what he just said is also one of the disadvantages, because remember we also mentioned it as an advantage that it becomes someone you can, a support system. It becomes someone that cheers you on when you are down. But the same thing can cause havoc. Yeah. Because I see Akosia getting so close to my man, and I become jealous. So now I won't be nice to Akosia. So now if Akosia's file gets to my desk, I will sabotage her work. You see? So then it becomes a disadvantage. So there is a way you manage the emotions, as he's saying. And I tell you, when it comes to, excuse my language, pussy and dick. It's a different ball game. So we have to be very,
people
very,
lose control very quickly.
So we have to be
very
very,
quickly.
very careful when it has to do with these two elements of the human body.
All right. But while with someone who has already fallen in love, you find yourself in such a situation. How do you I don't know what the right word, be professional about your relation? How do you go about it?
Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. You didn't birth the man or the woman. You are not the mother, neither are you the father. So just keep an open mind and tell yourself, I'm in for the ride as long as it lasts. And not only for office romances, for general life activities. You know, when you meet a lady, especially in our parts, they put the marriage carts before the horse or before the wheel. You know, for their mind, marriage. If you come loving me, it must end in marriage. Instead of availing themselves, keeping an open mind and saying, well, I like you as you like me. Let's see how this pans out. Let's see how far we can go. You know, so that you would embark on the journey of adventure and discovery. You get to know Paula. Oh, this is unique to Paula. Oh, I get to know this. There you know the person, and then you weigh it against your own attributes. Can I contain this? Can I spend the next 30 years of my life waking up to this face? Can I? People don't ask these questions, and they are always in the hurry to marry. But you've not asked yourself, can I, for 30 years, when I wake up every morning, I tell my face, Franca, this is Franca's face. Boom. I wake up every day, Franca's face, boom. There must be something in it that endears Franca to me for 30 years.
Okay.
I have to wake and thank the universe. I have to thank Allah. I have to thank Mahu Sogbolisa. I have to thank Atana Nyongmo. That thank you for crossing Franca's path to mine. And if that thing is not there, then there's going to be a problem, Paula.
I don't know whether I should beg to differ in what he said or I should, because you know, as I said, we all have ethical values and norms. So for someone who believes herself or himself to be a born again Christian, would definitely not want to have a relationship with anybody that is just going to be, let's see our nakedness and have fun and have adventure and everything and just go separate ways. That is never the idea. The idea is, if I meet Kwame and I love Kwame and I'm having something to do with him, I want it to end in marriage because I don't want to go that way. So for me, it's a whole different topic altogether. Maybe we have to find time to go into that one at a different time, because we all have our expectations. Before you go into any venture, you must have an expectation. Because if you don't have expectation, then what are you going in for? So you must have an expectation. So I have expectation that I'm going to date this man. He's going to marry me.
But that's what I was saying, that how do you differentiate from fling? Because people think that office romances, maybe you just want someone to play around with. But meanwhile, someone going into a relationship with you, it's not about the fun. You have to look forward. Do we have the future?
Most of the time, if I don't want to say it's a general thing, but I think that if people who are not married are dating or having office romance, most of the time, most of them, their expectation is that let's study each other and get married. It's only a few who want to just, hey, let me just tap the ladies, or let me just sort them and then just go. No, it's most of the time I think that they have positive mind. But you know, as the mind may have it, love is some way. You can't really understand it. Yes.
Sometimes
so it's a bit difficult and dicey when it comes to that extent.
Right.
So for me, I think that you can't just, because if a single person is saying yes, but assuming my boss married shows interest in me, single, where is it taking me?
Sponsorship.
No way.
No, it will take you to sponsorship.
Okay, so at that instance, the lady herself knows so well that my boss is married, not ready to have a second wife. I'm not ready to be a second wife. So all we are going to have is just
your boss might have married.
Close up, just so it doesn't get so cold. Yeah.
Your boss might have just done the customary marriage.
All right. Now that brings me to the question. When I started my service, one of the orientations that they gave us was that when you are going to the institution or the organization where you've been posted to, look out for the men who come to you and say, oh, we like you. Usually, it's just a national service aba, so they are just going to look through and see, if you find yourself in a workplace where your boss or a colleague, let me make it your boss is asking you out, how do you turn it down? Before you do, because you don't want any problem with anybody. So HR, how do you turn it down professionally? Once you know you are not interested in the office romance or whatever they are bringing to your table.
It's a difficult one. It has its negative side and its positive side.
Yeah.
But as I said, as an individual, you must be ready to say, damn the consequences. If you are not able to have that mind from the onset,
Yeah.
any answer you give will have its consequences. So you must be ready. So assuming a boss likes Franca, who is in the organization, I just maybe entry-level person, and that's the shaker and the mover of the organization that can make things happen for me. And he comes, and because of my ethical norm and value, I feel it is not right. You don't just go, me pacho de bi me mpel. No. You don't just go like that. But then you must be very much well polite. Sometimes the way you say the thing is the most painful thing, even than the words itself. Okay? The words itself are so painful than the way you say it. So I think that you have to say it right at the right time. So my boss is here. He's saying he loves me or he's in love with me. I can tell him, oh, I understand. But based on the few things maybe you have read in the organizational policies and procedures, maybe I think it would be ideal that we all remain neutral. I only want to learn as a beginner. I want to know more things. So you, please, boss, can we just see how things unfold? You know why? I'm saying let's see how things unfold because, as he said, it might just be a fling. Maybe somebody has bigger ass night shift than me, the person is going to come in. It's not going to work. At the end of the day, he himself will start backing up because he will realize that from your actions,
you're not interested.
You are trying to sway away from what he is bringing on board.
Was it not the lizard who said when he fell from the tree, nothing pained him more than the one who was laughing, not the one who even pushed him off the tree? So the fact of the matter is how you respond affects the reaction. How you respond affects the reaction. As she said, if the dawn of the company comes to you and says, Paula, you look lovely, I love your lovely frame, I love us to, get acquainted, I'll take you out for dinner, and you know where it's leading, and you know you are unavailable. You don't go and say, come on, boss. I mean, how dare you, boss? I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed. No. So, I'm really flattered, boss. Really flattered.
But,
however,
okay,
I'm unable to avail myself because I'm just in. I want to get to know the organization. So, I'm afraid I can't honor the dinner invitation. But let's see, as Madame said, but let's see how things pan out. You don't close the door, because if he's serious about you, of course you can end the national service. You can conclude it. You finish eventually. And if you were to conclude and you were not retained at that workplace, it means you are out of the organization, right? So there's no problem of office romance now. If he really means business with you, so eventually you can reconnect outside the corridors of that office. There's that possibility of it.
For someone who is not, you haven't met someone who is stubborn. It's like they'll stop at nothing until they have you.
To
the extent, I guess, to harassment and all that. What should be the move you should pick? Should you make it? If once you are not listening to what I'm saying, like I'm being professional,
you are being diplomatic, and yet it's not working.
Most organizations have what we call the grievance procedure. Okay, and the boss might not have harassed you sexually yet, but the boss might be making advances that you're uncomfortable with. So he's a boss. but the rules are made to straighten things. The policies are made to guide us. Sometimes they themselves, they forget that they have those policies. If you are, there's one thing I always tell people: if you're an organization, take the pain, understand the policies of the organization, read their procedures, get to know more, so that if something like this is happening, it's like being a law student. You can quote the law.
State right here.
They can say that, oh, this means that even if I am caught, this is where my position is going to be. So can we just let sleeping dogs lie? Can we just let me go on learning and getting on with my career? I'm young in the field. I have to grow too. You are a boss. You know, sometimes how you communicate tells men how intellectual you are. And they can't tell whether, they can't know your stand, they can't know your mind. They become scared of you because they don't know what you
are capable
your
of
next
doing.
action is going to be. So once you are able to let this come out, he will push back. He will do a rethinking. He surely will do a rethinking. You know, there are a lot of stubborn bosses. That one, no two ways about it.
Stubborn boys at the back.
But then it depends on you, the individual, to know your policies of the organization at your fingertips.
You can also take the comical route, or the comical route, as they say, if he's persistent.
Fire Syria.
And then you can say, oh, boss, this small ass, this small, they don't even shake. Better things there, boss. This small breast. Yeah. Oh, this is like doing boss.
I'm
so
60
when you do it, what they say, you're correct. You're correct. Then. So you even become friends. There are so many cases of people who desired others, and then eventually they know eventually they don't get it, and then they become friends. So they say, "Hi, girlie." So I mean, you have to be crafty about it, and unless he rapes you, other than that, he can be advancing, praising you, buying gifts. Others also use an inducement, buy you gift, lunch, you know, trying to woo you. So it might be so, you know, some to initially they will say, hey, but when the things are coming,
see the goodies.
And then the friends will say, hey, Paula, Charlie, it's not easy.
You're fortunate.
You know, so but you know what you want. If you are set in your mind that no, this thing I can't do it, there are many ways to play around it. You know, yeah.
All right, sure. We're really getting information here and what to do when your boss is persistent. And for those who are stubborn, as Mystic and Frank have said, there are so many ways to deal with them. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, Moans and Cuddles continue.
Right there.
Welcome back to Moans and Cuddles on Ghana Web TV. Back to my guest, Mystic and Franca. Mystic, I just want to throw this to you. How differently will you work with a lover against just the normal colleagues?
It depends on what sort of lover that person is.
You have a lover, so you know you are intimate, you have a relationship.
No, it depends on that. What sort of lover she is. Is she self-assured? Is she confident in herself? That she's not easily threatened or feels that her man is being preyed upon or being desired by another woman, so she puts up a fuss? Or she's a woman who trusts that her love or her affections are well secured with her man, that anything she sees doesn't bother her.
Okay.
So that sort of lover is whom I would desire to be with in an office romance. We are self-assured in ourselves and in the affection and the love we share. So when you see me with Bernice, you don't jump to conclusions. When you see me with Oyo, you don't jump to conclusions. Knowing that you, Paula, are my one and only.
The queen of your heart.
You are the one I desire. And it is only you I have an eye for.
Forget about the rest. You are the one. Okay. But Franca, how difficult is it? How different is it?
I don't know. I think we've actually touched on all. You know, it all depends on what you want. It all depends on what you want. There are some people who can be very discreet at these. In fact, there are some people who can date in the office and nobody,
Absolutely nobody.
nobody in the office can think
They
are
close,
dating.
they go their separate ways. They hardly talk.
Nobody
Never
can
see
say-
it coming.
Nobody can suspect.
No display
In fact,
of
you
affection.
cannot. And for such people, I think they are very professional. Very professional at what they're doing. Because, as I said, when they know, it will be spoken about. And once they speak about it, it affects everything that has a chain effect on you. You get everything that they will think is favor. So you have to be very, very careful when making such decisions as to involving yourself in an office romance.
Now, for our sisters and brothers who already find themselves in office romance, how do you handle emotion, especially? Maybe you don't work directly under the person. The person is your boss, and then the work needs to be done, and then they are hard on you. Forget about everything that we have.
Yeah, I think-
I'm hard on you. That way, so maybe I put you to order, just like the rest of your colleagues. You have to do the job.
I would liken it to being a man of God at church and coming home. When you are home, you are not man of God. You are husband. So if you are boyfriend, girlfriend, it is in your world. When you come to the corporate world, obey the rules. So if I am your boss, I'll be hard on you as I can once the job is not done. And as you, the girlfriend, you must understand
This work.
we are working.
When we go
When
home,
we finish working, we can have a little chit chat and a little touch, not in the office. We have to get the work done.
I think I came across such a situation. I'm now recalling where it came across, but it involved on set. So I think the director had the host as the lover.
Oh,
So I think something had happened the previous night, and then the lady was angry or something like that. So on set you could see there was tension, and then eventually we got to know the girl was saying and no on the set tell me on the set and so we and pay
But that is right. You really
so we all laughed, and the
boy.
man explained that look your band ejuma mu dia mesrew ejuma wo de bomechi mma ye kodema wo de ba ha de I was saying ejuma no yeah so it was just my mind just went to
You
it
don't
and
destroy where the food is coming from. Make sure that place works.
there are some people who say they don't eat where they eat. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, they don't eat where they eat.
Because that can destroy
Yeah,
things for you.
yeah,
You end up
yeah,
losing
yeah.
the food you are supposed to be eating right.
Yeah, then you okay. But then in a case where you and your lover you're in the same space, do you disclose your salary? So okay, baby, I earn this, I earn. Franca, why?
my
the
goodness.
salary bit is a whole ball game. It's a whole different ball game. But then I do not share the sentiment that we should have joint accounts. I, for one, it's not
Okay.
something I subscribe to, number one. And so if I don't subscribe to us sharing a joint account, I certainly do not reckon
You tell them
that
your
we
partner
should
how much
discuss
you earn.
salary. We can do ranges. We can do range so that it
You know a
helps.
fair idea.
It helps in the
Planning.
support system at home.
Okay.
So if you are a man, at least you want to have an idea what's the capacity or the strength, financial strength of your wife. So if she's earning 800, some men will say, oh, and they say, sir, into me and take you to the man. Would you 800 now? Me, I made 1,000. That can one now 1,000 salary for you. So there are some men like that.
Okay.
And then there are other women also who will say they wouldn't want to disclose because then the men will be lax on some of their duties that they comfortably performed. But if they got to know that my wife earns 4,000 cedis, they'll say, hey, now 4,000 now, you have to take brodo course. They will now demarcate the thing. So some people are just generally not comfortable with salary disclosure.
Franca.
Okay, so once you're in the same organization, as we are trying to look at it, we all have what we call confidentiality of information. So when I receive my payslip, I'm told it is confidential. And once it's confidential, it's for my consumption only. You know why? Because disclosing of salaries has plunged and made a lot of people bitter and very inactive at job. So assuming, say, my man is maybe in the counter as a cashier. I'm also in the counter as a cashier. We are all cashier, right? We are all cashiers. So, and he's earning, say, 2,000, and maybe I'm earning 2,500. It has no business to do with him because we all bargained when we're coming into the organization. I don't know what you bargained for a salary. They laid the card before you and you made a choice. Maybe when they laid that card before me, I was able to bargain for a better salary. So for me, it's confidential. As I said, we can give ranges. I take around, about.
You give a range.
But for me to tell you my salary,
we respect that decision. But for you to avoid being a subject of mockery at a workplace where people say, oh, this person, I'm sure she's having a thing to do with, how do you handle it?
I think I wanted to put this point across earlier on. You must discharge your duties equitably and professionally. If you are in the employ of any business, discharge your duties so that very little else can be said about the quality of work you put in.
Okay.
If you do that, whether you are sleeping with a frog, whether you are sleeping with a cow, will be of no consequence. Because even your colleagues can testify that Paula de Ebene Juma Ze, Ebene Juma de Obo Juma. And if they see you sleeping with Mr. Mankwakra, they'll say, oh, it's of no consequence. It's love. But it comes to work, and colleagues themselves, when they observe an attribute, they spread it about you, not you. It is they. Say, Frimpong, say, Obedu ejumemu 8 o'clock, Obabeto Frimpong ejumemu. Even if you come 7 o'clock, Frimpong would have reported already. That is his, road to acclaim, reporting to duty without being late. In over 5 years, Frimpong would never be late, no matter what. And the colleagues themselves say, hey, they themselves. But if you are a lazy rat, and you are using personnel at work to climb, they will know. They will say it too. And sometimes they will not even say it at your back. They will say it right in your face. That we don't know him there. And you do see any they'll tell you.
All right. But before we come to the end of today's discussion, when you have a love relationship with someone, it has been going on for months, for years, and there is a breakup. Yes. Finally, you guys decide to part way. How do you handle it?
At the workplace?
At the workplace.
Okay. That you can't work anymore?
No, we can't work on it. So we've just decided.
But we are still we will still continue. We are working, still working.
Still in the
of
same
course,
space.
that's where managing emotions comes in. Managing emotion, that's where it comes in. Paula, you have many exes. I've had my share. Franca has had exes. We've not died. Have we died? Are we dead? We are living, aren't we? Yeah. So that is it. When you realize, you come to that realization that this cannot travel any further, stop any. Have an honest discussion with the person. Don't ghost the person. Don't send a text message. Yapong.
Mistake. It is when it's on a consensus, when you are all ready to let go. Maybe you've seen that, we are trying everything we can and it's not working. When you are agreeing, it's easy.
But if I have fallen out of love, and it's like my money on the trotro is exhausted, no matter what, I have to get down.
You can get down.
And so in getting down, I have to make it known to the mate, which is my lover, the Mr. Kana Ashong, Messi ha. So I am Messi until you tell them, madam. But it is again how you discharge that duty.
And that is why most organizations are scared about this office romance, because at this juncture it's very difficult.
The breakup.
And the breakup that is not agreed by the two parties. And that is where they dread that there could be lagging productivity. You understand? Because I can take it. I'm fine, you are not fine. The you are not fine will play a role in your job. I'm telling you. So it's always advisable that if you are a person who you know very well within yourself, that you cannot even manage your own small emotions in your house, you don't take it to the office where business is held. Because at the end of it, it will show. And if you don't take care, that might also be the end of your, because you may end up getting query letters. Query letters will follow, and by the time you realize you are getting a summary dismissal, and you get nothing to take home. So it's always good that you weigh yourself. I always say this: think through yourself. Be sure of what you really want before you make a decision to have an office romance.
Thank you, HR. HR said it all. But Mystic, final words before we
Well,
close the chapter.
there's an ancient African saying, "Man, know thyself." Man, know thyself. And if you live by this creed, you shall go far.
Your Paul.
You're so not baby.
You're so not there. As an ever calling in your handles, how can you reach you?
I'm on Twitter at Mystic Mike. The Mystic is MYSTIQUE. Mike MIKE. Also on Facebook at Mystic Mike MYSTIC and Mike MIKE. And then also on Facebook I'm on with my website blackpepper.com. BLAKKPEPPERDOTCOM. And then on Instagram at Black Pepper News.
Black
Pepper News.
Oh,
yeah.
you are those famous. I have to go and look for you.
Yes.
I have to go and look
Fine
for
Mystic.
her. Fortunately, I like to keep myself on the low key.
Okay.
I think I'm just fine. We're okay.
Fraka baby.
Maybe one day.
You open up.
We respect that. Now, as I stated earlier, my makeup was done by Kiki Sadi. She's on Instagram as the corporate chick. Contact her for all occasions. She's going to glam you up. And Moans and Cuddles is proudly sponsored by Cheesy Pizza. Now, Cheesy Pizza has all you want from juices, smoothies, jollof, fried rice, pack, and meatballs. We have great deals for you all week round. Cheesy Pizza gives you the Mac Cheesy combo every Monday and Thursday. With only 49 cedis, you get one small pizza, fries and chicken, one Coca-Cola drink at all branches. I see you are enjoying.
I'm going in.
Cheesy Pizza tastes good. Now,
I'm not ketchup, I'm going in.
yeah. So on Tuesday, our Super Tuesdays are all Cheesy Pizza branches. Buy your Super Family Pizza at half price every Tuesday for 40 cedis at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Be part of the midweek bonanza every Wednesday. Buy and get one free at all Cheesy Pizza branches. And also remember to start your weekend with special jollof and fried rice from Cheesy Pizza branches every Friday. Call 026 413 33397. 026 413 3397 to place your order. Cheesy Pizza, your way. And on that note, Cheesy Pizza has got something for our guests. So Mystic, here you go. You can hand one over to Franca.
Many thanks, Franca. Here you go.
All right.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, enjoy your pizza with your loved one. Mystic, if you don't have anyone at work that you know you're having anything to do with, maybe.
No, no. I'm currently free. I'm a free agent.
Yeah.
Ready to mingle?
Exactly.
It was a great pleasure having you. To my guests, Mystic Mike and Francisca Ashong, thanks for coming to Moans and Cuddles.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And to you who did the watching, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure coming your way with Moans and Cuddles. I am Paulina Dedaa Opoku. See you on the next episode.